One of my big interests in travelling was when I was finishing servicing the company called Strohline, which we used to deal with in Germany, and basically Strohline had gone bust, and Dr. Jürgen Karl was our man in Strohline, and there was a period of time where Strohline had sold equipment, and this was the CAF video. And Strohline couldn't back it up because they'd disappeared. And the day I came off service, I was called into the director's office, sales director, and he says, "I want you to go to China." And I said, "Well, it's not my job now. I'm not a service engineer." He says, "No, you know, you've had so many years at service. I feel you must go." So the case came back out, and off I went to China, and. And flew into Beijing, thinking, you know, here we go. And I was met by the agent out there who dealt with Strohline, and he said, "There's an airline ticket here. I want you into a place, and I hope I pronounce these right, to Fengshao." And I'm thinking, where the heck is Fengshao? And sure enough. They picked me up, and off I went to Beijing Airport. In those days, it was very strange. You know, you don't speak Chinese, and English wasn't spoken that well. And I'm looking, and you go through securities, and there's people getting pistols out and dropping them on the tray as they went through. You know, it was a norm. And off I went to Fengshao, and did this work on the CAFs down there. And I was put into a hotel, and I'm thinking, this looks very smart. And I was something around about the 45th floor on this hotel. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, you know, it's got a swimming pool. Let me go and look at this swimming pool. So got my cozies on and went down 2 floors because it was on something about the 42nd floor, this swimming pool. And I looked at it, and I'm thinking, there's no wall at the far end. And I dived into the swimming pool and swam to the other end, and this hotel had a glass front of it, 40 floors up. I certainly came down quite fast. And moving on, I ended up in a place down near Hong Kong. And I was put in this hotel, and this was completely different. It was a very shady looking area. You know, you went down to the bar, and there was a lot of young ladies hanging around. I thought, not very keen on this one. And I'd seen a hotel on the way in, so I decided to pull out straight away and go for the Holiday Inn, Garden Park. And they said they would send a taxi for me. It never turned up. So eventually, a few hours later, I ended up at this Garden Park Holiday Inn place, and I spent the rest of the time there. And for me, to travel places, it's always been a great joy. And after commissioning these 3 CAF videos, I was sent back to Beijing. And basically, the company that was dealing with me, there were only 2 people that ran the company. And they said, are you going back at dinner time? I went, yeah. He says, we'll sort you out. And I'm thinking, what do you mean to sort me out? And is there anything you want to see? I went, well, you know, it's Beijing. And for me, as a child, I've always been fascinated by the Great Wall of China. And this young lady came with a little Suzuki minibus, and she says, we're going to see the Great Wall of China. And for me, that was fantastic. You know, it was about an hour or so outside Beijing, and it's a sight I have never seen in my life before, you know, to see it go over the tops and round, quite steep and everything. And I bought a memory of that, which still sits on my desk, and I don't know who I'm going to give it to when I leave, because it cost me £1. And I know for certain my wife won't have it in the house because it's sat at Carbolite for the last 25 years. And after coming back from the war, we went to, you know, to the palace, Tiananmen Square, you know, and obviously the history there, and a good tour now. And to me, it didn't matter how hard the jobs were. Something like that to finish it off made it all worthwhile that you wanted to go again. And they weren't all like that. You know, you'd fly. You know, I remember flying to Italy 3 times, and the only thing I saw was a factory and the airport. It's just not always like that. So you've got to take the rough with the smooth. And that's what I thought. And the Great Wall of China was one of those places.
Fantastic.
Yeah.